So, I started a podcast. Probably one of the last things I could have ever imagined myself doing. I never thought I would start a podcast, but I think a lot of us are doing things right now that we never thought we would be doing, but we're doing nonetheless. So, here we are with my podcast. Technology is difficult. I spent all morning getting my mic together, getting everything working. I got a new software on my phone to edit and remove the background static because there was a lot. But I think I eliminated all of it, and I think it sounds really good, and I'm really impressed with my microphone so far, so that's super cool. I would not call myself a technology guru, though. I'm really not great with it. Which is why remote learning and everything has been so difficult, but it's okay. I got my first phone when I was 13. 13. All these kids were getting their phones when they were like 11 or 12. I was just a couple years late, but I kind of was on the old end for getting a phone, I feel like, especially in today's day and age. I feel like 13 is like a pretty standard time to get a phone, like normally, but it's 2020. Is anything normal anymore? I don't think so. Until I got my phone, I had a Kindle Fire, and does anyone remember what a Kindle Fire is? I don't think they make them anymore. I think they're really old. But I had one. So I can say that I had one when it was the peak of technology. It is probably obsolete, but I had one. I know, it's crazy. But I had an app called Text Now. I don't know if anyone knows what that is, but that was my life, man. I texted everyone. I made other people who already had phones download Text Now so that I could talk to them on my Kindle because I didn't have a phone. But when I got a phone, I had to buy it for myself. So what I ended up with was a $75 phone called an LG Phoenix or something. Okay, first mistake, LG. I love all of my Google users and everything out there. I would never use Google myself, but an LG phone, no, I could do so much better. I don't know why I chose that as my first phone, but like I said, I had to pay for it myself, so it was $75, and I got what I paid for it. It was not great, but it opened up the world of the internet. This is so cheesy, and I love it, but... So I tried to find a bunch of entertainment outlets for myself on there. Immediately found YouTube. Really liked it. It's a very wide, expansive platform where you can do pretty much anything that you want to, and there's so many people on there, and I really thought, this is super cool. While YouTube was an immediate love, I was initially actually scared of social media. Like Instagram, Snapchat, anything like that, I literally had a fear of it. It was not good. I got Instagram once. All of my friends were asking me, why don't you have Instagram yet? Go on Instagram. What's your Instagram? Let me follow you. And I always had to say, I'm sorry, I don't have one. And their question was, why not? And my answer was always, I just don't want to. And while that sounds like a really dumb excuse, it was honestly the truth. I was nervous to get social media for some reason. So I got Instagram once. I got Instagram this past December. I got Instagram. I made an account. I followed my cousin. I made this post about Camila Cabello's romance album, which I actually hate Camila Cabello now, so that's really funny and ironic to me. I requested to follow my, at the time, crush. Got nervous and deleted it. Oh my gosh. That just made my fear even more, though. I'm never getting Instagram again. Oh my gosh. But one entertainment outlet that I never, ever liked. I never liked it. I hated podcasts, which seems really ironic at this point, but yeah. I hated podcasts. They were the worst. I am a super visual learner. And we started listening to podcasts during school. I remember freshman year English, we would listen to a podcast every single week. And I hated it. I never understood them as an entertainment form because there was no visual to go along with them. So I felt like I got super distracted during them, and I could never really, like, focus on what was happening, and half the time it was about stuff, like school stuff, that I super wasn't interested in, so I just had a really, really bad association with podcasts for a while. Another reason I hated them was because they are central on the person's voice. Oh no. My voice is fine now. I'm okay with it now, but I used to just I don't know. I literally have no words for it. Like I don't know what to say. My voice was the worst thing ever. It was so bad. So my mom has found a way to get all of our family videos off of like the tape and the CDs. Are they CDs? No, they're DVDs. I'm just stupid. Don't worry about me. But she's found a way to take all of those off and put them onto like as phone videos. So she's been sending us files of our old family videos, and we've been watching them as a family lately, and they're super fun. But one thing, like, I literally can't believe how my parents didn't like throw me out of a window because of how horrible my voice was. My voice was, you think I'm exaggerating. I'm not. It was terrible. It was so bad. I don't know what I would do if I was conscious of that back then. Like, if I was conscious of how terrible my voice was back then, I don't think I would have talked ever. Like, I don't think so. It's not good. I've since grown past that insecurity now, but when I watch the videos back, I still feel like curling up into the fetal position and dying because it's so bad. But now I'm okay with my voice. But and I'm starting a podcast now, so that's super cool. If you know me as a person, something I like to do a lot is to joke about doing things, but the actual punchline of the joke is like, no, I'm legitimately going to do this. Let me think of an example. I feel like this is super a weird joke to make, but this was middle school me. We don't talk about middle school me, so just don't question it. But I would be walking downtown with a friend, and I would tell them, every time we pass a couple, I'm gonna look at them and say, just kiss already. And make it, like, really obvious. Like, but, and they'd say, don't do that, because obviously don't do that. And then I would say, no, actually, I'm gonna do it. Just weird jokes like that. I don't know why I do that, but it's just something that I do. But I never did that about starting a podcast. So, the no actually punchline is coming true about a joke that I never even made. Weird. And I also never even liked podcasts until March of this year. I just talked about how much I hate them. Well, I used to, but I don't now. For those of you who haven't been on Earth for the past 6 months, first off, lucky you. Second off, the world kind of ended in March due to this thing called COVID. I don't know, I think that's some, like, acronym for this, like, virus thing. I'm not really sure if you've heard of it before. I mean, not many people have. I thought it was flu season for a while, but no, that's apparently not till, like, November, which that's kind of sad because my birthday's in November, but it's fine. I'm obviously joking. If you haven't heard of COVID, where even have you been? So yeah, back when the world decided to end in March, which can I just say, I did not give permission for that. I do not condone that. I do not have time for that. So the world is such a mess right now. I'm honestly probably going to make a full episode about everything that's happened between quarantine and now, and just there's so much. There's so much to unpack there, so it's definitely going to be probably a full episode. Definitely going to be probably. My goodness gracious. It's okay. It's okay. I'm a mess. Don't worry about it. So, early in quarantine, I decided to start looking at podcasts. So I had two genres that I was really interested in. Personal journal, which is kind of like what this one is a little bit, and then also mystery. The mystery ones are super cool sounding because they're like the person in the podcast who's like talking will walk you through and like try to solve a mystery with you. So like it's like did anyone read Nancy Drew? Was that just me? Nancy Drew slapped. Nancy Drew was so good. Nancy Drew was a little bit like Scooby-Doo though in the fact that like if you read one book you essentially read all of them because they all ended the same. There was always the same twist, like in Scooby-Doo, how they would always just take the head off the dude, and it's like, it was this guy all along, and it was like the same guy every single episode. It was like that, but Nancy Drew honestly slapped, and like 8-year-old me was quaking when I got to like the end of a book, because those things actually did get quite intense for the age level that they are meant for. So I found two podcasts that I really like, actually, that are in the personal journal kind of category. Haven't found any mysteries yet. I'll let y'all know if I do. But The first one is Doing the Devil's Tango by Alex Myers. And if you haven't heard of Alex Myers, oh my gosh, go check him out. You're missing out. He's a YouTube animator. He animates all of his TV and movie reviews, and he does a bunch of video essays as well that are super intelligent, super well put together. I'm a big fan. And now that he has a podcast, I'm an even bigger fan. And his podcast is like relationship advice and relationship commentary, which I find super interesting. So I'm definitely going to do 1 or 2, maybe more episodes on that myself. And the other one I found is called Empty Inside, and it's by Jeanette McCurdy. And that, if you are hearing that name and thinking like, wow, I've definitely heard that name before. Where have I heard that name? I for sure recognize it. I'm not really sure where, though. It's Sam from iCarly. It's the girl who played Sam from iCarly. And that's how a lot of people know her. And her podcast is super cool because it's all of these personal anecdotes that remove that label from her, kind of, where like she doesn't want to be known as Sam from iCarly. She wants to be known as Jeanette McCurdy and a person and an actual, like, not a character on a TV show, which I think is super cool. So I found lots of comfort in both of those podcasts, and they're super interesting. So speaking of the fact that I want to do a couple relationship advice episodes, don't worry, I am qualified. I am in a relationship. It's actually, when I was telling my Instagram story about how I went on and I followed my crush at the time and got really nervous and deleted Instagram, that was my crush back then is my now boyfriend. Hi, Evan. We've been dating for almost 9 months and he's super cool. Something fun that he does is he streams on Twitch. I'm definitely going to link that, don't worry. And I've been featured on streams, both in voice chat and actually like on streams, like on the camera playing a game, which I'm really bad at the game, so it's super funny. So I know what you're thinking. You probably think that I'm just being hard on myself, but no, I'm actually terrible at the game. I'm so bad. It's honestly entertaining. I'm getting better. I am under the delusion that I'm a gamer. I'm very much not, but the first time I was on voice chat on a stream, one of the viewers in the chat actually was saying that my voice was something that he hadn't heard outside of like news and radio, which that was a huge compliment. So, thank you. I hope you're listening right now. Hi. So I've decided that ultimately I have the time, I have the drive, the interest, and yes, the voice to start a podcast. And also the microphone. This mic is really, really, really nice. I'm really enjoying this. Oh my gosh, this is super fun. Sorry. I bet a lot of us have spent the last few months really, really realizing that, yeah, it's super hard to be human. Which is why this is titled, Why It's Hard to Be Human. And I bet a lot of us are sitting in our rooms right now, watching The Office for the 4th time through and wondering if we still know how to hold a comprehensible conversation with anything that's not an inanimate object that we're frustrated with. Am I the only one that does that, by the way? Like, if I break a pencil, I say ouch. If I run into something, I'll tell it to get out of my way. If my phone buzzes, I'll tell it to be quiet. Like, does this mean I'm going insane? I need actual input on this, please. Let me know if you think I'm going insane, because I super hope I'm not, but there's a lot of evidence. Being a human is hard. Like, an unreal level of difficult. But that's exactly what makes us human, is that we all go through stuff and we all have difficulties. That's what being human is kind of about. All of our worries and little nitpicks and picking sides on things like politics and social issues just starts to feel like one massive headache a lot of the times, and it's really annoying. It can be really, really difficult. But like I said, that's what makes us human. So essentially, what my podcast is going to be, you're finally finding out what this is about. After the most drawn-out intro you've ever heard, you're finally finding out what this is going to be about. So I'm essentially going to feature different topics each episode on some aspect of life. That sounds super vague, but like I said, there's going to be a couple like relationship advice ones. There's going to be some personal anecdotes. There's going to be some commentary about, like I said, like talking about like COVID or something. I'm also going to go on Reddit and find a lot of things on Reddit to comment on. If you haven't been on Reddit, congratulations for still being sane. But people who use Reddit are not normally the most sane people in the... Maybe I am insane because I use Reddit. Just more evidence. Oh my gosh, add it to my case study, guys. I'm insane, but no. When I set up my podcast, I had to pick a category for it, and I honestly couldn't decide what the category would be because, like, there's no category that's, like, basically just talking about life and also talking about posts that I find on Reddit and just commentating on things. There's no category that says that, which is unfortunate. Maybe I should make my own category, but it's under personal journal, but I'm always going to call it life commentary because I feel like that's all it is. It's just commentary on life and why it's so hard. I mean, I've been through a lot, haven't we all? Especially just in 2020. We've all been through so many highs and lows. It's like a roller coaster, except way less fun. I'm hoping this can provide me with another platform to be able to speak out. Wait, I got really scared just now. Because I had my second point, like, made, and it was in my brain and I was gonna say it, but I'm keeping this in here, by the way. I normally would edit this out, but I'm keeping this in here. So our area tests the tornado alarms on the first, like, day of each month, and it just started, and my heart literally, like, dropped to my stomach, and I was like, am I gonna die? Like, there's already so much going on in 2020 right now. I honestly, oh my gosh. Okay. Everything's fine. I'm not in an emergency situation. That was just really funny. So we're keeping that in there. Like I said, we've all been through a lot. And I really hope that this alarm that's going off right outside my window right now is just the test. Wait, let me check the time. Yeah, it's just the test. And it just stopped. So yay. Anyways, oh my gosh. I'm hoping that, all right, we're back on track, guys. Don't worry about it. I am hoping that this podcast can provide me with another platform to be able to speak out about things that make life difficult, such as weird alarms going off without them telling you that they're going to go off. And what makes being human so hard, because like I said, it's difficult. So, officially, welcome to my life commentary podcast, where I will explore why it's hard to be human and my experience with life, love, and other weird shenanigans that humans go through every day. This was sort of an intro episode. I'm not really going to get into too much, like, content this time to get you a little used to me and my voice and just what we're going to be doing. I mean, so next episode, though, I'm super excited for. We're going to be getting some posts off of Reddit. Like I said, they're going to be kept anonymously, obviously, because we're all about respect and kindness here. That I'm going to find them off of, like, r/social skills, r/ does anybody else, like, kind of those subreddits there. And they're going to be mostly describing or asking advice on social situations where it's really, really, really easy to feel lost. And boy, have I been in several of those. So it's going to be a fun thing to talk about. I'm hoping to get that out to you around September 18th. It might be earlier. Like, I had this episode particularly kind of pictured for September 4th, but it's obviously out a couple days earlier. But yeah, so stay tuned for that one. Make sure to subscribe to my podcast channel. It is called Why It's Hard to Be Human, just by the name. Turn on the bell so you get the notifications. All of my episodes will go up there in full. So, and you can also just comment there as well, which will be super, super fun. It should also get pushed out to Spotify, Apple Music, and other similar platforms very, very soon. Not sure if, I'm not sure where Anchor's going to be putting the ad that I recorded in here, but it's going to be in here somewhere, so it's going to be fun. Also email the podcast with things you'd like me to talk about. I made an email for my podcast, and because what I'm really aiming to do here, I said this earlier, but I'm really aiming to have a very viewer-centered podcast where it's not only my content, but some of yours as well. So if there's things that you want me to talk about, certain situations that you want me to kind of comment on, obviously I'll change all names and keep things private, obviously, because it's a web show. It's common respect and etiquette to do that, so be sure to email the podcast. It's me behind it. It's not like I have, like, a corporation or, like, a business. This is all just me. So that email is hardtobehumanpodcast@gmail.com, but the 2B is the number 2 and the letter B. So it's the word hard, number 2, letter B, humanpodcast@gmail.com. So thank you for sticking around, and I look forward to, cue the air quotes, talking with you more in the future. Keep your head up and make good choices. You are killing it. Catch you around.